Well, students, let us discuss one more application of Gauss law. Now, in this lecture, we will see how to find electric field intensity when the charges are distributed in 3 dimensions. That is to say, volume charge distribution we will have. We have already seen how to find electric field intensity when the charges are linearly distributed, one dimension. We have also seen how exactly to find electric field intensity when the charges are distributed in 2 dimension. Now we are coming to 3 dimension. So electric field intensity due to a charged sphere. Now when we talk of a charged sphere, this sphere can be a hollow sphere, it can be a solid sphere. So first of all, I am taking E due to a charged hollow sphere. Now, once again we need to use Gauss law. So what we can say from Gauss law? What we have, Gauss law states that surface integral of electric field intensity over an enclosed surface is 1 by epsilon naught times charge enclosed by the surface. Now out here, let us try to see how the sphere, see I am drawing one sphere, let us say the radius is r, radius of the sphere, and the charges which are spread on the surface of this sphere, this is exactly what we have. So the total charge which is spread on the surface of this sphere, let us say we have a charge q. Now, how many positions are possible where electric field intensity can be estimated? In order to understand that, we can say there are 3 positions. One is here, that is A. What is that position? This is so case 1 I am taking. I will write it as case 1. What is that case? R is greater than radius of the sphere. This is where? At A. Now, from the Gauss law, we will try to make out a Gaussian surface. So let a Gaussian surface pass through that particular point which is under observation. So if you try to visualize, it will be what? It is a sphere of radius small r. So what we have now, just take one element of that imaginary Gaussian surface, which is nothing but a sphere. In 3 dimension, it will be a sphere. So the direction of electric field intensity is this way, and the normal to the element is also in the same direction. Therefore, from Gauss law, what we will have? EDS is equal to all the charge q will be effective in exerting field force, because are effective in contributing towards the electric field at that point. Therefore, full total charge q will be considered. Now, E ds is equal to q by epsilon naught. Okay. Now, what will be integration of ds? Integration of ds can be visualized as, summation of all such elemental areas which are there in this imaginary Gaussian surface. And area being a vector quantity, if we add all, sorry, scalar quantity, if we add all those area algebraically, we will get total surface area. So what will be the surface area of that sphere, imaginary sphere? It is nothing but surface area is 4 pi r square. This is q by epsilon naught. So we get E is equal to what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. In other words, we can say electric field intensity is inversely proportional to square of the distance. This is what we have for E at A. This is what we can say. Now, this is one. Is there any other point? Come to the diagram. There is one more point that is on the surface. This is B. So what we can say now? And here it is R. So the second point. So we have it as case 2. That is when R is equal to radius, that is at B. Put the value of R is equal to R. So therefore directly we can say E at B is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square directly. So from this we can say E is constant. How much is that constant? 1 by 4 pi epsilon, which is k, q by r square. See? Now the third case is there, which is very, very important. R less than R, that I will label at C. Where is that point? That point is within the circle. This is C. So within the circle, if you say, closely observe, it will form a sphere like this. Okay. Now the question is, this is q by epsilon naught. Now what will be q for a point, for a surface which is within the sphere? Inside the sphere, q is 0. There is no surface on which the charges can reside. Charge cannot go inside that. Q is 0. So if q is 0, this means E at C is 0. This also gives us one very important conclusion, that there cannot be any field inside a hollow conductor. See, the metal sphere is there, inside there cannot, since there are no charges, that is why there cannot be any field inside. Now, if we try to plot a graph for this variation, observe carefully how to plot the graph. Here, if I try to plot the graph, now we are trying to plot a graph here like this. This is center. And this is radius. See, I am plotting R on this axis on either side, and here I am plotting E. Same way this side also, if I take, this is R, and here I will have R greater than R, R greater than R, this region. This is exactly R equal to R, and here it is R less than R. Now let us try to plot the variation. We know the variation of E versus R. For the point which is outside What is the variation? The variation is E is inversely proportional to R square. So it's a very steep curve and it will never intersect the axis, because if E is 0, R is infinity, and if R is 0, E will be infinity. This is what we have, and this somewhere it will meet, so this we will call as constant. So here I have E inversely proportional to R square. This point is how much? E at B, that's constant KQ by R square, and in between it is 0, so the graph will be like this. So on either side you have to plot the graph like this way, and here it will be asymptotic to the axis this way. That is exactly how the graph is for hollow sphere. I hope the method of finding electric field intensity for a hollow sphere is clear. Now let us proceed to discuss if we have a solid sphere, then how to find out. So I am taking the next case, that is electric field intensity due to a charged solid sphere. So here the sphere, see hollow sphere, if you want to visualize a football, hollow sphere, solid sphere, shot put, that's a solid sphere, that way. So now again let us try to, we have one sphere, this is a charged sphere, let us say the radius is R, and the charges which are distributed on the surface of it is Q. We have seen this kind of distribution in a hollow sphere also, similar to that it is. So let us say the charge which is present is Q. Now we are taking different cases. So first case, R greater than radius, that is at A. Same thing, A, this is R. Well, the case is similar to what we did in case of hollow sphere. So we have EDS, from Gauss law we can say EDS Q by epsilon naught. So E and ds, here the entire charge Q will contribute toward the electric field intensity. So E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. This is what we get E at A. In other words, we can say E is inversely proportional to R square. This we have seen in the previous case as well. And the next point is at B. Here also there is absolutely no difference. That is case 2, which is R is equal to R, that is at B. So E at B will be taken as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. So from this we can say E at B is a constant. Till here the analysis is same as what we have seen in case of hollow sphere. Now there is a change. Now at C, that is the case 3, R less than R, this is the most crucial one. At C what will happen? Where is C? Let us try to understand. Where is C? C is the point here. So what we have? We have the sphere is something like this. Now The question is what we have seen in the previous case. EDS, Gauss law gives us EDS is equal to Q by epsilon naught from Gauss law. What will be the charge Q? In the previous case, we said that there is no surface on which the charges can go inside. So Q is 0 there. But in this case, Q is not 0. Because as you remove the top layer, another surface appears. That is what is the difference between hollow and a solid sphere. In a hollow sphere, if you remove the top layer, next surface cannot be there. But in a solid sphere, there will be another surface which will be seen. This means that the charge will have a new surface on which it will get distributed. So, charge per unit volume will remain constant. So, charge upon volume, this is constant. So therefore, what we can say, charge per unit volume is, this is Q, which is spread on a volume of 4 by 3 pi capital R cube, and we need a charge Q which is spread on a surface of 4 by 3 pi small r. This is charge per unit volume. So therefore, using this concept, we get the value of Q as R cube upon R cube into Q. In the previous case, it was 0, but here we are having. So therefore, EDS, Q is what? R cube upon R cube into Q by epsilon naught. Which surface? The surface area of that Gaussian surface, which is an imaginary sphere. So therefore, E 4 pi r square is equal to R cube upon R cube into Q by epsilon naught. Simplify this. When you simplify, what we get is R square and R cube here. So this will come out as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, then Q by R cube and R will come. This is what is E at C. Please understand this. This is what is the difference. Or I can say inside E at C is directly proportional to R. Only for the case when R is less than R for a point which is inside the sphere. Now let us try to see the variation of electric field intensity with distance. That is to say, let us try to plot a graph. So if I try to plot a graph here, observe here how exactly we get. So I am plotting on one side. So no issues, we can say this also. This is the radius and this is electric field intensity. Here I am plotting E, and here let us plot R. So this is your radius, and this is the region where you have R greater than R. This is the region where you have R greater than radius, and this is R less than R. I hope the axes are clear to you. Now, what will be the nature of the graph? So the nature of the graph, when we try to plot, we have to see what happens when outside the point which is A. E is inversely proportional to R square. So the graph, as we have seen, it will be asymptotic to both the axes. It will go this way. This is what we have. This is what we say, E is inversely proportional to R square. Now at B it's a constant, so this is the value of constant. This is E at B. So this is E at B. How much is that? KQ by R square. The most important one. what will be the graph for inside? Inside we see E is directly proportional to R, so the graph will be a straight line. E is directly proportional to R. Y is equal to mx plus c. But here it is E is proportional to R. So it is of the type Y is equal to some constant into R. Y is equal to mx type. So passing no intercept, passing through origin. So the graph for this case will be something like this. This is how the variation is on both sides. This is E is proportional to R inside. This is how we have to understand what is the variation of electric field intensity with distance. So students, this is exactly how we can use Gauss law to find electric field intensity when the charges are distributed in 3 dimension, or we can say volume charge distribution. So students, this is exactly how we have understood the applications of Gauss law. So please keep watching my channel. In my channel you will have all the topics discussed elaborately, and numericals also will be discussed. So keep watching, you will be benefited from it.